guys, and welcome to another video. First of all, apologies for not making a video for last week. I was on my work experience. I was going to make a video all about that, but then I was like, I already made one all about work experience before. But if you would like me to make another video about my second work experience placement, I was in a hospital in the nutrition and dietetics department. If that is something that would interest you, perhaps you're going into medicine or just want to know more about it, please do let me know and that can be done. But today's video is something a little bit different, and it is all about the UKCAT. For those who do not know what it is, the UKCAT is pretty much like a compulsory test or exam that's taken by all applicants for medicine, dentistry and veterinary sciences. Now this is a test that you pretty much can't revise for. It's not something which is like, oh, here's biology, here's chemistry, here's physics. It's not like that at all. It's not like your GCSEs or your A-levels. It's pretty much, I find, a test that is very logical. It has, and let me just count, there are 5 different sections. And those are verbal reasoning, decision making, quantitative reasoning, abstract reasoning, and situational judgment. I think it's decision making that is a new one, and so for us, only the other 4 will be marked, and the 5th one's pretty much just like a guinea pig. Like, we're just being tested on it, but it won't actually go towards your end results. But yeah, anyway, the test is pretty much compulsory for all those applying for those 3 courses. And it really does depend on the universities you apply for on how much this test has an impact on. For example, there are some universities that are like, oh, your UKCAT score, yeah, you just need to have like an average one, we don't really look at it that much, cool, whatever. Whereas others, which are less kind of GCSE focused, will look at your UKCAT score and it's like a really big impacts on whether you get chosen, which is quite like scary. And I suppose another factor that really scares me about UKCAT is the fact that you can only take it once. So that one day at that one time you have the chance to take it, and if for some reason you have a really bad day, or I don't know, you probably didn't revise as much as you could have or didn't practice as much, and you come out with a score that perhaps just isn't going to get you into the university you wanted to get into, then that is it. You cannot take it again until next year, meaning that you'll have to take maybe like a gap year or completely change the course, something like that. So it is pretty scary in that sense, which that's something that makes me go like, oh god. And I know for me that my GCSE grades are not strong enough for me to apply for universities that are like super GCSE focused. So I basically need to somehow ace the UKCAT, which is going to be a little bit challenging. If you do want to know what I got for my GCSEs, you can go check out my video. I did a whole video on it on my channel, which is Bit of a Fangirl. I pretty much got 4 A stars and 6 A's, but if you wanted like a detailed breakdown, then go check out the video on my channel. Anyway, so how am I doing with UKCAT? I'm not gonna lie, I haven't done nearly as much practice as I wish I should have done. I mean, in school we had like 1 or 2 kind of like enrichment days, the sessions where we could have the opportunity to like trial out some questions, and I did like a few here and there, and I was like, okay. I think the thing with the UKCAT is it's not incredibly difficult, it's the timing that makes it a lot more stressful, and pretty much anyone who has done it will say that you probably won't actually finish the entire exam. Chances are within each section there will be questions that you miss out. That's just how it is, because it's so kind of like the timing is so strict. So what most people kind of suggest is just going for the ones, say you know you're really good at one section, spend your time in that section and get those marks. If you miss out a question, you will not get minus marks, I'm pretty sure. So it's kind of being kind of strategic with it. Anyway, how I found it, I've only probably done like maximum 2 hours of practice, which is nothing. I'm really annoyed at myself. I've just been very busy with like work experience, and then I only finished school literally the week before that, so I haven't had a great amount of time. However, saying that, I do have about 6 more weeks. My UKCAT is booked for September the 5th, I think. Oh, and that's something that you should know. If you haven't already booked it, you might want to get booking. I'm pretty sure if you booked it for between July and August, it costs about £65 or £60. And if you book it after, so you're looking into September and possibly beginning October, that's looking to about £80. So it is a bit more of a price jump, and to be fair, I wanted to try and get mine for the end of August, and I booked it so late that all the August ones were completely booked out for like the nearest places, like centres to me, so I had to go to September automatically. So if you are someone who is like, oh, I haven't booked it yet, I would advise you to book it because they are going very, very quickly. And on the UKCAT website itself, it does say that you should kind of, the earlier you do it, apparently the better you, like the mark you get, and technically you have more time to focus on other aspects of UCAS, so you know, you might want to consider that as well. In terms of each different kind of like section, verbal reasoning, I don't mind this bit, I'm okay at this bit. This bit is basically you get a big old paragraph and then you kind of have maybe like 5 different statements, and depending on the question you kind of like, you read it, it's kind of like a reading comprehension. However, it is not that straightforward at all. It can sometimes be a statement and it could be true, false, cannot say, that kind of thing, and none of it is straightforward, which is something that really annoys me. You've got to be like, and sometimes it is a bit of a guessing game, I find. I'm reading through it and I'm like, is it? You could say it is, but then you could say it isn't, and then I'm sort of there stuck. So it isn't too great, but it's just something that comes with practice, I think. Decision making is something that I haven't tried that much, but it's sort of, it's a weird one. It's like, it's very logical. I think that's what UKCAT's all about. It's a lot of logic and kind of being like, okay, this, and this, and this. It's like, yeah, that one's a bit iffy, I'm not gonna lie. Quantitative reasoning is weird. Like, I tend to be quite good at maths. I'm pretty good at maths. I got my A star in GCSE. I'm looking at an A for A level, and still I'm struggling with this because once again, it isn't straightforward. There are a lot of graphs and charts and lots of data, and you've got to try and correlate the data and what they're asking you to do and all of this, and it is a little bit more complex calculations. It's not straightforward, like what is this and this, or you know, it's not, you know, an easy straightforward question. It is quite complex, so it is, once again, with practice it should come, hopefully. The other one, abstract reasoning. If any of you did the 11 plus back when you were literally 10 or 11, then this will be familiar to you as non-verbal reasoning. And I hated this then, and I hated it now. And it's basically a bunch of different shapes. You have set A, set B, plus a new one. Which one would it go into? And it is not straightforward at all. I remember the first time I did it, I was super struggling. I was looking at one aspect, like, oh, there are X amount of circles here, and this, and this. And then I got the answer wrong. And then when I checked the explanation, it was like, it had nothing to do with the shapes. It had to do with like the sides they were on. And I was like, stressed. Like, it is not nice at all. But I think once again with that, the more practice I did, the more your mind looks at it in that kind of way, as opposed to what you originally looked at it as. And so that's another thing. It's just a practicing game. Situational judgment is a little bit weird. So it kind of looks at, sort of, I would say, like the ethics and morals of someone, which is particularly why it's so good for kind of like medics and dentists and healthcare people. And so it will give you, give you like a short description. And I know one of the things, it was sort of about making fun of someone, and then it gives you a scenario, like something that you would do, and you have to rate it as, oh, that's appropriate, not very appropriate, but okay, not appropriate at all, but it's not too bad, not appropriate at all, it's terrible. So you're like ranking it, and it's very weird. It's kind of, I think the way that I'm doing it, because I'm always like, I always go on the extreme, like I'm always like, oh, that's quite bad, it's terrible, you should never do it, and the answer's like, it's terrible but not that bad. And so it's kind of putting your mind in the framework that they want you to look at it, and kind of being able to judge that situation by their standards. So it is really, it's quite like, if you think about it, it's like a subjective thing, but you need to look at it in the way that they want you to look at it, and so it's a little bit annoying. But yeah, I think pretty much my entire kind of advice for the whole of UKCAT is practice, 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 because there's nothing else you can do. You can't revise for it. You just need to practice and get into the mind frame and the way that they want you to do it. And that's kind of how you get the points, I guess. In terms of some resources, first of all, the student room, and I'm not just saying this because this is the student room's channel, honestly, the student room is so good for UKCAT. They have a brilliant, just a page dedicated, they have all the information, and it's like so simplified and so easy where things are. Whereas what I found with the UKCAT's actual official guide, it's like 30 pages long, very lengthy, a little bit, you know, it's very tiring to read it all. Whereas with the student room, it's literally simplified and has everything you need to know. And I literally have it favorited on my laptop, and it's always up, and it's so easy. And another thing they have is, it's really brilliant, they have all the universities that require UKCAT, so you can tell whether you should be taking it. And finally, they have so many resources. They have a whole list of different pages that you can go try out different questions, because that is one thing with the UKCAT. Most of the time, if you want to practice, you're going to have to pay, whether that is by buying a book, and the books aren't too expensive, maybe £10, £20, or perhaps there are online courses. Some days there are like courses that you go to outside, which is very expensive. I know there are courses, some which are like £100, which is so expensive for this one like 2-hour test. But you know, if you want to do that, you can. But what I find, and what lots of people do recommend, is right now what I'm doing is I'm pretty much using the student room's bunch of different kind of resources, because pretty much every single website has about 50 free questions. And the way that I'm thinking is, since my exam is like in a month and a bit away, if I just do all like the free questions at first, and then in the last 2 weeks in the run up towards it, that's when I go online, I buy a course, I spend about £20-30 and have that like unlimited database of questions and just work at that. Which I know probably isn't the plan for everyone, but I just think that kind of works out the best. And one like website, one like online course or online database that I've really loads of people have been recommending to me, it's called Medify. Now I personally haven't tried it, so please do not, if it's crappy, don't blame me, but a few people have been like, it's really good, and those people got good UKCAT scores. The way Medify works is, I think it's sort of based on how long you want to have access to that database. So for like 2 weeks it's like £30, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and like a month, 2 months, and it just increases. And they have like this pretty much loads and loads and loads of questions. They have explanations. They're really good. And so that's kind of what I'm going to probably be buying in the 2 weeks before, so I can just spend 2 weeks and have all of that like at my hands. And hopefully by then I would have picked up the necessary skills, and it's really just about kind of getting through it all. And yeah, is that everything I wanted to say? Oh yeah, a few other tips from other people. A lot of people say work from day one in timed conditions. There is no point going through a UKCAT paper and doing it in double the time you're allowed to by going through it really slowly, because it does not help. The idea, like the main issue with the UKCAT is the fact that it's so heavily, like you're so heavily limited on timing. So from day one, do it under time constraints. You will be getting crappy results from the beginning, but it just makes sure you like end up being more efficient, if you like. Another thing someone says is use the online calculator, since in the exam you will not be able to take your physical calculator. It is all very much online, so you know, try using that, practice what it's like. Find any keypad like shortcuts, because it will just make everything, it all adds up like timing wise. So just go for ways that are going to make it more efficient and less time consuming. And I suppose my final message, as I've said throughout this entire video, practice, 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 because that's the only way you're going to do well. Unless you're someone who's just super logical and you've just got it down, then I'm so jealous of you. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm hoping to kind of get done over summer. If you have any tips or any resources you think would be really great, feel free to share them. Do comment them down below, let me know, help me out here. But yeah, that is pretty much everything from me today. Once again, do go check out the rest of my own videos at Bit of a Fangirl, or go out and check my Twitter and Instagram. Twitter is @_ManishaP. Instagram is @BitOfAFangirl. And finally, go subscribe to the Student Room channel for lots more cool content. Give this video a thumbs up if it helped you out. And like I said, comment down below any other resources you have, so we can all just share our UKCAT knowledge. So yeah, that's pretty much everything from me today. I love you guys so very much, and I hope you're having an awesome summer. Bye!